the most exciting thing we're working on right now is the introduction of our multi-sourcing services integrator. And to put it into perspective, in 2008 we privatized our infrastructure services and our managed network services, and then in 2014 we have started to break up those services into smaller manageable pieces, and as a result we want to repackage them underneath the umbrella of a multi-sourcing services integrator to provide those services to our end users in an integrated way. We signed a contract with Capgemini in March of this year, 2015, and we went live today, August 24th, with Capgemini being our service desk provider as well as our provider for all cross-functional services. Well, you know, you hear a lot in the industry today about the nexus of forces and the disruptive changes that are happening as a result of cloud services, hybrid services, and these kind of things. And of course, the state of Georgia is not immune to these things. And we believe that by bringing in this multi-sourcing services integrator to establish that integration of services on our shared services delivery platform, that enables us and positions us to be able to take full advantage of what's happening in the marketplace. So as an example, just last year we signed a contract with Microsoft and we completed the implementation of Office 365 this past year. That's a good example of taking advantage of, you know, that cloud-enabled service that can actually be positioned on our platform. We also have other Microsoft-like services like Azure that our customers are interested in, as well as Amazon Web Services and those kind of things. One of the other things we're looking at is some of our customers are interested in virtual desktop interface, VDI technologies, and moving away from the traditional way we provide desktop support to centralizing that support and then pushing down the content to end user devices. I think that'll open up a whole new way of delivering, and it will actually enable our users to be even more flexible than they are today while providing more security, because the data is not residing on the device. It's actually in a data center that's more secure than that end user device. Yeah, that's a really good question. You know, the collaboration story. Even all the way back to 2008, when we originally privatized our services, we didn't do that in a vacuum. We involved the agencies from the get-go. And so it's so very important to make sure you understand your customer and make sure you understand their business and to get their involvement in the solutions that you're providing. You know, the adage of build it and they will come, well, that doesn't work. The consumer is driving the marketplace today. So more now than ever, we're involving our agencies in these decisions. As an example, when I told you we signed a contract with Capgemini in March, well, that story started in early 2014 when we started writing the RFQCs and the RFPs to go out to the street. We involved the agencies in helping us decide what those requirements would be, and they even helped us do the evaluation of the RFP to actually pick the provider. So in essence, our agencies helped us pick Capgemini to be on the platform. So that way we're ensuring that we've got agency buy-in, and at the same time, you know, we're actually getting, we're partnering with companies and getting the solutions that our agencies are looking for. And this model continues. As an example, we've got a meeting in September with all of our 14 enterprise agency customers that make up the largest part of our GET services. GET stands for Georgia Enterprise Technology Services. We're actually meeting with those business owners in September for a day and a half to actually do more of what I'm talking about, actually talk to them not about technology per se, but about what are the business drivers that are happening in each of their agencies to make sure that the various services we're putting on the platform is going to meet those needs. And if we don't have things that are going to meet those needs today, then we can go out and procure those services and put them on the platform. And with that MSI in place, providing that integration of services, it enables us to be able to provide that service in a more integrated and seamless way. Well, I think, you know, change is inevitable, and I think, you know, we're kind of at the point in terms of, you know, evolution in technology services. We're to the point where we have to just constantly be adapting and flexing to that change. So As an example, we're meeting with our customers in September to find out what business drivers they have that's going to change the way we deliver those services in the next 1 to 3 to 5 years. But at the same time, as we talked about earlier, right, the nexus of forces, the disruptive changes that are happening in the marketplace, well, that's driving these, a lot of change. Not to mention the external changes or external pressures that state governments get from the governor's office, the legislature, the things that are happening. Even budgets, constrained budgets cause us to have to change the way we would implement something. As an example, I think the important way to, or the best way to manage that change is communications. The old saying, communicate, communicate, communicate. You just can't communicate enough. And so one of the things that we've done since 2008, when we originally privatized, is we've established real strong governance. And so as an example, we meet twice a month with all of our 14 enterprise agencies, it's called the Agency Management Committee, and we talk about what's working, what's not working, how to address problems in the environment. But we also talk about some of those things that we're going to talk about in September with them about not just what kind of business drivers that they have and how we're going to meet those needs through various IT solutions, but we also talk about the process. How are we going to manage the change? Through change management processes, through communications, and more importantly, just establishing steady state processes and making sure that the end users that are going to be using those processes actually understand how are they going to request that service. How are they going to put in that ticket, or how are they going to do various things on the platform? And I think once you establish that communications and provide that training, then it's a matter of keeping it up to date and continually making sure it's available, on our website and through other various methods, because you constantly have people leaving state government, coming on board to state government. So it's not a once and done. You've got to constantly be able to provide that training and education and awareness of how to leverage the services and apply for the services and request services on our platform. Yeah, well, I think that the volume of retirements that are happening in state government today, hiring more millennials in the workplace is changing the way in which we manage employees. As an example, about 3.5 to 4 years ago, within my organization at GTA, we call it my organization the Sourcing Management Organization. We established flex hours as an example. And so everyone that works for me, with the exception of some of my direct reports and my extended leadership team, for the most part, telework at least one, some telework up to 3 days a week. We reestablished, because for some time with the downturn in the economy, things like training sort of went by the wayside. We reestablished our training program for our employees about 3 or 4 years ago as well. And we make sure that there's money in the budget for each and every employee to get the training that they need to either keep their credentials or make sure that they're continuing to have the skills and the capabilities that they need to be able to do the job. And just doing things like that, along with being a little bit more flexible in terms of how people operate, how they work, because people want a little bit more, not just the flex time, but just in terms of how you manage them. In other words, at the end of the day, giving them the flexibility and the creativity to be able to learn new jobs and learn and get involved in projects and programs that maybe takes them a little bit out of their comfort zone to not just determine how they're going to move up the company, but at the same time maybe find out exactly what their niche is and what they're interested in doing as a part of their career. I think providing not just a career path within their specific discipline, but giving them an opportunity to explore other avenues, laterally as well as vertically. Yeah, I think that Georgia has a really good story to tell in that space. If you go all the way back to 2008, when we first privatized, we projected that we would save the state $181 million over the life of the contracts, which is approximately 10 years. 7 years into that 10-year program, we're still on target to save the state $181 million. On top of that, we're continuing to drive efficiencies through optimization, virtualization, the consolidation effort that's taken place over the last several years. As an example, we had what we called the transformation program. It was made up of about 125 different projects that we've carried out over the last 4 or 5 years. This enabled us to be able to consolidate all of our servers into our North Atlanta data center, and there again do that optimization, virtualization, and centralization that we were looking to do. As an example, we had about 2,500 servers that were in scope initially, and now we have about 1,500 servers that are actually landed in the North Atlanta data center. And the reason that 1,000 or so servers just went away was because we did a lot of virtualization. So, doing those kind of things, you not only save hard cost, the cost of managing and maintaining those servers each and every month, but you also save a lot of soft costs too, just because of the overhead and the administration that goes along with managing those servers and the services that are provided. And that's just one example. If you look at what we're doing with creating this services integration model and this shared services delivery platform that I'm talking about, I think that's an enabler for us to continue to capitalize on the solid foundation that we've built over the last 7 years of privatization, and it's going to enable us to be able to lower our cost even more as we begin to bring in more cloud and hybrid type services onto the platform. So in my opinion, the future looks bright for GTA and for the state of Georgia.